I see you, but I can't. Can you see me? Hold on. Hopefully you can. Can you hear me first? Oh my goodness, welcome. Listen, it's been something this afternoon. See you, friend. Hey, can you hear me? Can you see? Can you hear me? Why isn't it allowing me? I can see the chat. I know you can't hear me, but can you see me? I said, can you? You're small on the top left corner. Okay. Well, that's the intent. I can make myself a little bigger. That's because I don't have a fancy background right now. When you're teaching yourself the things of the things, Dr. Rayon Walton, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And can you hear me speaking? Can you hear that? You're in a small box on the left. Yes. But can you hear me? Can hear. You're saying you can hear. Well, at least I got that right. Listen, look at me doing the thing. OBS. Yes, we talked about that, right? On my other live. But I'm glad you can hear me. I'm glad you can see me. And most importantly, after all of that, I'm glad to see that you're here. And as always, my sandbox, A1 Day One, supporting me and my mentor, Dr. Rayon Walton. Thank you. Thank you for joining. I am so excited and happy to be here and to see you. It's always a pleasure to have the you come and join and us get together. So thank you. Listen, I knew that this was going to be a true introductory. I don't know. I got this flyaway hair going on here. I don't know what's happening. I'm falling apart. But anyway, um, you're laughing at me. I've got my little laugh track here, so I was trying to, you know, show I have some technical skills, right? Listen, it has been a interesting day, to say the least. I promise everything that you always try to prepare for in Dr. Rayon. And if you're out there and if people are joining, and I'm hoping to, even if it's just you and your sandbox, your A1 Day One, that's okay. But if anyone is out there and they decide to come in, and I'm not going to hold this live long. This is really a introductory to LadyTPurdy Level Up podcast on YouTube, and I'm so excited to be here. I have met some friends. I told you I've got this flyaway. It's driving me crazy, so we're just gonna do that. How about that? I've met a couple of people, a few people on this particular platform over the last, I would say, course of a week, and they've been very, very, very nice. And hopefully she's like us, we dedicate or we give most of our time to our family on the weekend, and we try to like move away from social media or doing the things of the things. Um, and she is Tea Time with Chrissy. And when I tell you, she's got a great spirit, and I like her authenticity and her honesty. She said today that she was not who she is, and she's moving away from that. But she's been very nice and pleasant and very funny, and she's got a big following, I would say. She said she's going to try and join. She was on earlier, and but I've joined her live a few times now, and she has made it her business to call out Lady T in the Level Up podcast. She's posted me on her board, her community board. And so, as I am learning Dr. Rayon Walton, my bestie and brother, in love, yes. Please do let Lady Michelle know that I said hello. Again, I'm going to be very mindful of the time. This is me introducing LadyTPurdy Level Up podcast on YouTube. I'm going to be mindful of your time because, of course, we've got to scurry and get over to your live broadcast as well. But the things of the things, welcome, welcome, and welcome. This live is just introducing who I am. This is live at 5 on the YouTube platform with Lady T, your level up mentor of personal and professional growth. And today, as we're doing this small introductory of myself, of moi, I want to talk a little bit about what I was talking about yesterday. And I'm not going to give you all of the meat and potatoes because, of course, my mentor has already heard this, but just wanted to set the pace or set the tone as how we walk into 2026. Needless to say, that is what this live session is, setting your pace, setting the pace in 2026. And 2026 is the year of results, clarity, capacity, and finishing well. That is the sentiment, I know with all my mentors and those influencers or content creators that I'm very familiar with in my community and circle. We all feel the same way, right? We're talking about finishing strong, are getting the clarity that's needed, no longer, holding on to things that no longer serve or suit us, right? So I mentioned yesterday on my live on the other platform, TT, as we were talking about this very thing that we're talking about now. Really, I said not to be angry with 2025. We need to make sure we learn from her, right? We needed the data. We needed to do an analysis of where we were to where we are today and where we're headed. And where we're headed is setting that pace, the tone of making sure we finish. This is the year of completion. No more starting and stopping. And my A1 Day One, Dr. Rayon Walton, is out there. He too and shares this same profession as I, a project manager. I think he's a little better than me because sometimes I can't manage my life either. Listen, I promise. But that is another live. Anyway. But we want to make sure that we're doing things in stride. We're choosing pace over pressure in order to get to our end goal. So, with that being said, here's a few, again, things to just think about. Clarity, right? capacity. I used an analogy on yesterday when we're talking about setting the pace of being the elevator. Walking into an elevator as the doors open, the first thing that you should see, right, is that little, what I say, a warning sign, a notification, an indicator that says do not exceed, pretty much. But it says, it uses the word capacity. It is saying exactly what it can hold. You are more experienced. You're fun. Thank you so much, but you are funny. No, I've learned from the best. Don't let Dr. Rayon Walton fool you. He is definitely a professional. I encourage those who may be listening, if you can hear on the outside, and please forgive me. I am learning this platform. And so there are things that I know that I can't do, or maybe I can and I'm not aware of, or, some of the housekeeping things and maneuvering around on here. So, but if you are familiar with Dr. Rayon Walton or not, I encourage you to get familiar. He is on this platform. It's Dr. Rayon Walton, as you can see, but he's also on the TT platform, and he is live there on Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. And I guarantee you're in for a special treat. It's very informative, it's fun, and it's a safe space to really talk about the things that are important in life, right? Important to, I think, people in general, because we're now all feeling like we just need answers and we need results. This is the year of results. And no matter what it looks like, guys, I promise you, we are all going to get there. So this is where we do it. This is how we do it. We make the connection, we build community. And so I don't like the word followers. I also do not like the word subscribers or subs. I do not see that to be a good depiction of a community, of a network. One of the things I like calling, us friends, connections. We're building a community, so we're connecting. I don't know, Dr. Rayon, and hopefully LinkedIn won't steal this from me, and I promise everyone, they didn't tell me to say this, but when I think about LinkedIn, when you go in on LinkedIn, I think about that word. And when you're talking about your community, they have network, right? But I think links, like we're linked together. Exactly, right? So I think TT and YT can find, that's just my little 2 cents, me being the person, or I'm a little bossy at times. I try not to be, but not so much boss. I just try and find a better way of saying and doing things, articulating it, showing a little more diplomacy, a little more finesse. And I just think when people truly are themselves and you are engaging with people, right? And getting to know them. I don't want to be known as a follower. That the connotation behind that particular word as it relates to influencers, podcasters, social media, content creators, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't resonate with me the same way as subs or subscribers, right? It sounds very like business, and there's no connection. And when you're talking about being an influencer, a content creator, a podcaster, even though there's all types of us in that pool, right? From, being funny and a comedian, maybe you're dancing, I don't know, whatever the things that you're doing. If you're coaching and mentoring like we do, right? I just feel there's a responsibility, if you're doing makeup, health and wellness. I just think there's a responsibility for us, as influencers, as content creators, as podcasters, to be very mindful that we're here because we had something to say, something to show, or something to do. And because of that, it gained a connection, of people who, you know, it, it, for lack of a better term, bought into you, right? They saw the potential in that. And I just feel like we owe them a little more than, and that's just me going on my soapbox, than calling someone a follower or, a subscriber. So, but anyway, I just say community, connection, or the links. Like, we're LinkedIn, right? Anyway, didn't mean to go on a rant. That wasn't the intent there. But again, wanted to just be able to just really connect and start to build the community, with me and my mentor, and always give support when I can, and however it is that I can do that, and share information that I think is key, that I think is beneficial, that I think can help us level up and get to the next level, elevate ourselves. And so that's what Lady T is. That's who she is. That's who I am, right? LadyTPurdy, your level up mentor of personal and professional growth. I encourage and teach, or educate or mentor, which is what I do, right? On just how to be a better version. My mantra is, when you know better, you do better, to be better, to level up. And now even more so this year, because this is the year of results, it's going to be undeniable. We're no longer being denied, right? So it's no secret. Last year, at the top of the year, I was laid off. It's been almost a year. I don't look at, again, 2025 was not favorable for me, right? As it was maybe for some, and others feeling a little bit of the pain that I felt, right? But I'm not looking at that as being negativity. I'm looking at it as, where do I go from here to get the result I need? And this year on YouTube, on this channel, we'll be talking about those things. We'll be talking about how we get to our goals, and setting a pace, set the pace that works for us, that works for you. What works for Dr. Rayon Walton may not work necessarily for LadyTPurdy to level up, right? But he certainly has mentored me enough and guided me enough with his education and influence, right? Not only from a textbook perspective, but in life. And that's how I've learned to level up. That's how I've learned to be, the person I am today. I would say it has some to do with the pastors that I call mom and dad, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm a PK. But at the end of the day, it is, this channel is going to be a place of safety, connection, and information, right? We're going to have fun. We're going to have fun learning, in a way that people can connect to. We want to make sure we set the pace and get the results. So if we are, if the intent, for an example, because we don't do New Year's resolutions, and I don't know of anyone who does. But if the intent was at the beginning of the year for you to, let's just say, hypothetically, lose weight, I know I need to lose about 30 pounds. Okay. If your weakness is food, you live to eat, not eat to live, or you live to eat, not eat to live. Excuse me. Yeah. Okay. Say that 3 times. But at the end of the day, if you know you have a weakness when it comes to food and you really are trying to set a goal to change your lifestyle, not necessarily be on a diet, because nobody sticks to those. Maybe you put your meal prep plan on your refrigerator. We're talking about one of my other mentors, who happens to be mom, Pastor June Avis. She's talking about a vision board with some of us. Whereas Dr. H.E. Purdy, my father, Pastor Purdy, is talking about a roadmap for the men, right? Whatever, however you see that, whether it's a roadmap, a vision board, or just, guess what? Just a picture. Or a small cutout of a plan that says, I'm going to stick to this meal prep plan, and every time you open the refrigerator, you make smarter choices, you make better choices. When you know better, you do better, to be better, to level up. That is how you set the pace. That's how you get the results. And then you're happy with yourself. You're not down on yourself. You're not saying, you know what, today's a cheat day and tomorrow's a cheat day, and before you know it, you're stuck in a rut. You're stagnant, you're not going anywhere, your weight's going up, or it's just staying where it was, and there's no results. So there are small, bite-sized steps that we can take to get to each milestone in the goals that we're setting. And that's what setting the pace is. So we'll be talking about this over the next couple of weeks. I'm only going to be here, on Fridays live at 5. But you can also see me doing live at 5 on TT on Thursdays, as long, as my time permits. If it changes as it relates to getting back into corporate America, I will certainly keep you abreast of that. So true. I love that Dr. Rayon Walton says, discipline. Absolutely. It's discipline, it's consistency, it's capacity, right? So the discipline and what was the word I just said? Discipline and consistency is that's that clarity. Once you get that clarity, then and right. So the clarity is saying, I can only have this. That's capacity. That's how it kind of just goes hand in hand. So the capacity is, well, I can have, 5 or 10 grapes, for like your protein, maybe a hand size of, chicken or whatever your protein is going to be, whatever it is. Or I'm trying to get the next executive job or whatever. So now I've got to come up with strategically and intentionally what it is that I need to do to get into that role. And you got to be consistent. I love consistency. That word is key. Consistency. Absolutely. So if you're showing up and you're doing the things that needs to be done, that's how you get to your end result. But sometimes when we're talking about capacity and you are being consistent and you are being disciplined, capacity sometimes is stretched. And I know I detoured a little bit and I said we are like elevators. Once you get on the elevator, that word capacity is, take it seriously. Like, don't take it lightly, because if you exceed, right, the capacity being the elevator, several things are going to happen. Something is going to be faulty and not work. You're going to be sitting in the elevator, or the cables are going to snap. Hello, and I just spoke you up, and there she is. She's so beautiful. Thank you for joining Tea Time with Miss Chrissy. I love it. Miss Chrissy, please meet my A1 Day 1, Dr. Rayon Walton. He is my mentor. He is a great friend. And he don't be afraid. He is truly a doctor. That is not his handle. He is truly, truly a doctor. It is wonderful to see you. I am learning. This is an introduction to Lady T Purdy Level Up podcast. So I'm learning the ropes. And of course, my mentor is here rooting me on. So thank you guys for joining. It is so nice to have some support, I promise. And Chrissy, let me tell you, if you're interested in getting to know Dr. Rayon Walton, which I encourage. You can find him here on this platform. I'm learning, so I'm going to take a page from your book and I'll post his information in my community. I'm learning my way around this. But he is also like myself. Actually, we're going to be mindful of time. He's on the TT platform and he goes live on Fridays. I go live there on Thursday at 5. He goes today at 6:30 p.m. So you can also catch him there, and I promise you, very informative, a lot of fun. You don't be afraid or intimidated by doctor, because a lot of people are. But he is the coolest dude on the planet, and he looks 15. I promise. And his lovely wife, Miss Lady Michelle. So a lot of fun there. And so if you're interested, but I was just speaking of you and sharing with my mentor how you have just been such a delight and very, helpful, and posting information. And hopefully, from here on, I'll just keep, connecting with you and others, and they'll join. So today is just to really introduce myself, Lady T Purdy, your level up mentor of personal and professional growth. This is the year that we set the pace, right? For 2026. This is a year of results. It is clarity, it's capacity, it's finishing strong. Definitely. Oh, I'm so glad you'll follow him. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I promise he is such a blessing in my life, and his wife as well. So we have a really good connection on the TT platform. We're known as the Triple H, the what is it, the heavy hitter, humble heavy hitters. So there's a group of us that have now kind of ventured out to the YouTube platform, and we're all about positiveness and building a good we need that. We need a connection, a network of us, where we can go to, by us, for us, and by us, right? We're inclusive though, right? We're not exclusive. But we've got to do things a little differently, and move differently. And we've got to stand our ground at the end of the day, right? I believe in equality and all of those things. So no matter what anyone looks like or whatever the case may be. And so that is what you're going to get here this week. Again, introducing myself and talking a little bit about what I talked about yesterday, which was, setting the pace, leveling up, the capacity. I was in the middle of giving that analogy of, being the elevator. And when we say capacity, what we can hold, what no longer suits us or serves us. My brand, I've created a brand called the R system, and that is reset, refocus, and restart. And there's a framework that's tied to that, and what bridges that together. So the framework, of course, is the ARA framework that relates to resetting, when you're releasing or letting go of what no longer suits you, right, or serves you. And then when you get that new lens of focusness, right, you go into refocus. And once you do that, and you get the things that you need, I would say that falls in line with capacity. Then you can restart, right? That doesn't mean you're starting over. When you realign and you get to the restart, it's not necessarily, it can be starting over, but not all the time. Sometimes it's just hitting that restart button, right? Because now you've cleaned out, you let go, got rid of everything. But when we get to the refocus part, we take a lot of that information that we've had, bad relationships, looking for a better job because the one that you have, you've elevated from that. It no longer serves a purpose for you, and you're looking to go to the next level. Whatever it may be, you know, a lot of us dealt with church hurt. Sometimes, that restart, the refocus, you know, it it gives us clarity, and that's what this is. So, look at that restart not always as starting over, but sometimes it can be. Sometimes it's just restarting. Um, so those are some of the things that we're going to talk about and have some fun with it. I'm going to have, of course, guest on this podcast, hence Dr. Rayon Walton. I'll have him on and getting some perspective from him. He's not only a doctor, but he's also an author. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He wrote a book, and actually, I don't. Well, I don't know. You can't see where I'm at, Dr. Rayon, but I've moved into another workspace of the house. There's two offices, so I've relocated because my house is so open, and when you come into the door, whether my husband's coming in from the side garage in the kitchen or the front door, he's like calling my son's name. And when you're working, that's such a distraction. So for the holidays, I did a flip flop, and I'm in um, the man cave in his office until we get the actual doors that we want to put up on these offices. So, and it's a nicer space down here anyway. I haven't had a chance to really do anything with my office, but your book, I just moved it because I'm still shifting stuff around. But yeah. Anyway, so we got about a few more minutes because I know Dr. Rayon Walton has to run. And if I've missed anyone, if anyone has joined, thank you for coming in. Thank you for, I don't know, do we call them hearts? Thank you so much for those hearts. You guys are amazing. I love when we can support each other. That really, to me, is key. Some people are in this space for other reasons, and you know what? There's no right or wrong. If you want to chase pressure, pressure is definitely, I want to be that content or influencer that is really heavily making money. I'm not saying that's not the end goal for anyone, but that might be the front runner goal for others. For someone like myself, Dr. Rayon, we want to really build a community. I'm not saying listen, we know how business is. It takes money, right? To make money. I get it. And you've got to pour into your business, right? However, you also want to be able to shake the right hands and rub the right elbows and shoulders, making that connection. And that is how you set a pace. That's how you get results, honestly. So we can do things fast, but sometimes when you do it fast, you burn out and then you just drop out. And that's not the end goal for not the beautiful people that I'm looking at today, not in here. I don't think that's any of our goal, right? So, resetting, refocus, and restart. That's how we gonna get it, y'all. What else, you guys? What are some of the goals that you have set for yourself? We were talking about that and how you get there, right? I don't, when we're talking about capacity, I love that word capacity, because when we're clear, when we have the clarity, we know what our limitations are. We should know what to expect, right? I can only hold this much, I can't hold that much. And so that's important when we're taking on and we're constantly doing and doing. And I know, ouch, I'm guilty. You know, you always want to make an impression, whether it's your boss, your family, you know, that's just part of my personality. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are the same way. So a lot of times we say yes when we really mean no. But because we don't want to deal with the drama, and we don't want any backlash, and we don't want anyone angry or looking at us with that side eye and saying, did she just tell me no? I need you to know that that capacity limit is there for a reason, and you should not feel bad about the way you can say yes easily. You should easily be able to say no and comfortable with the both of them. Sorry. And guess what? It won't be your problem if they're upset. It won't be your problem if they're angry or if they feel like you've wronged them. No, they'll get over it and they'll move on. You are setting the pace for you. And you yourself have to respect who you are. And the more you put your foot down and say, I'm sorry, but this is what I can do, the more they'll respect you and they'll understand that. And then you don't miss the mark on your end goal. So if you're setting, I have that in as a PM. Dr. Rayon Walton's also a project manager. So we're used to timelines and trackers and all that. Welcome in, love bug. I see you. Thank you. Good to see. I'm so glad people are coming in to say hello, 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 hello. Welcome in. And listen, can I do it? But we have these trackers and things of that nature, and you know, they can get a little tricky, like, I mean, big time, right? And that's not the goal for Lady T. When I take lessons learned, I've taken my education and where I am in life, the highs and the lows and everything that's in between, and I've put a plan together, the reset, the R system, where we can set a pace and make sure we hit our strides, make sure we hit our goals. This is the year of results. So if we're doing that and we're tracking it, thank you so much. Appreciate you. I mean, my husband just handed me my new phone. I'm out of commission with no phone because we're in transition. But anyway, when we're doing that and we're staying true to it, you can actually not only hit your goal but exceed it, believe it or not, because now you've stayed the course. You didn't let other distractions get in the way. And when I say other distractions, I don't necessarily mean someone distracting you, because again, when we're talking about clarity, that is part of the awareness. So the clarity for me is me being responsible and accountable. Yep. And so if I'm doing that, then what did I say? When we say yes, it's yes. But when we have to say no, it's okay. Because sometimes that no is really, right, that protection that you need, as it relates to your capacity. Because if I'm saying yes to so many other things and I know I still have a lot of things that I have to complete, then you're overwhelmed and nothing is getting done And even if it is getting done, how well did we do it? Did we make, are there any errors? Are there any redos or do-overs, right? So we've got to just be mindful. So again, welcome in. Thank you all for coming to this introduction of Lady T Purdy Level Up Mentor podcast. I am taking questions. I want you guys to feel like you can throw them out. We're going to have a lot of fun and talk about how we level up, because that's what we do. And again, if you're in here, I'll be here on Fridays live at 5, leveling up with you guys. I'm also live at 5, leveling up on TT and on the TikTok. And Dr. Rayon Walton is in here, my mentor and friend. He too, he's getting ready to jump on his live. He's also on TT on Fridays at 6:30 Eastern Standard PM for both of us, right? And then he's here on the YouTube platform. So I appreciate you guys for welcoming me into the YouTube fit community. And I really do look forward to, just sharing some information, chopping it up, and bringing you some invited guests that will bring you some real good information. And yeah, this is going to be the year of setting the pace and getting those results. We are not doing that. Listen, I got to finish my book, Movement to Mastery. I was a dancer for years. I studied classical ballet, and of course, my parents was like, "We love you. You're not really Miss Missy Copeland, but that's okay. You good, girl. But you need a real job." And so I had to go into corporate America. I did open up, however, my own dance company for several years when I moved. I'm a Philly girl, so I'm outside of Philly, and now I live outside of the ATL. I'm probably about a little over an hour from Atlanta, so I'm between South Carolina and Atlanta, and so movement to mastery is just that it's a book that I'm writing that I'm very proud of, that moves you through the stages of my life through dance terminology, but relating to the Level Up, Lady T Level Up brand and how I got there. So I'm really, really proud of it. So it is going to be done in 2026. That is a goal. Welcome in, Just Me Douglas. I see you. Thank you for coming in, love bug. Hello. I'm so excited. Listen, and you know what I like about YouTube right now? You guys, y'all are really welcoming. Like, you feel the love and comfort, right? I feel like we just chatting it up. And so that's the intent here. Not to sit and lecture or be a teacher. I'm not a professor, but I feel like if I'm leveling up to the next level, I want friends and family to do the same. And so if there's information that's helpful, whether it's health and wellness, your personal, right? Because that's what Lady T does, leveling up personal and professional growth. I have a BA in business administration with a concentration in project management. And all that really says is I'm a high-end administrator. That I've learned how to navigate and be a boss to my husband of 32 years and help just manage life. And so there's so many ways that we can do that, and we don't have to have complexity all the time. Complexity is good. Yeah, I like that word too, right? But simplicity is what I like. I feel like in the world, our economic world that we're in, just overall, it's easy to when you can manage, right, a little better. And so I believe in my mantra: when you know better, you do better, to be better and level up. And now we're going to be undeniable. We are not being denied the things of the things, setting those goals. We're not denying those, and we're not allowing anyone to deny us of that. Pace and boundary. Absolutely. So we take pace over pressure. That's all I got, y'all, for today. It was just really coming in and just saying hi. I'm here, and thank you for welcoming me in. I appreciate it. So I see Chrissy and Sweet and Sassy. I love that. Dr. Rayon, Just Me, Douglas. You guys are amazing. Any questions for me? I mean, if you don't have any, it's okay. Because I'm pretty sure as the year progresses, we're going to have some questions. And I do look forward, honestly. Keep it on your radar. I'm going to be doing a segment. I am going to be interviewing Dr. Rayon Walton. But I'm also going to be doing a segment specific to women in the workplace, in particular black women, and I'll have a co-host doing that as well. I just got to figure out if someone knows, y'all can just drop it, DM me on how you connect. I don't know. A1, do you know how we can co-host or share, or like when I'm interviewing you, the same way I'm seen in the loop here, I want my guests to be visible too. So if anyone knows how to help Lady T level up at that level, please share. I came in late. I love your. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You honestly, and look, we're sending kisses to you too. Honestly, you there wasn't a whole lot of content. I just kind of took a little bit of the notes that I had from yesterday on my live, because I'm live at 5 Eastern Standard PM on TikTok. And so but it was just me introducing myself. I've been kind of, getting my nose in other people's business, meaning I've been joining lives when I can, and is why I was able to meet Miss Tea Time. Yes, ma'am. I don't know who came up with that. What is that about? But anyway, and a lot of her community and you guys just, welcomed me. And so you didn't miss a whole lot, Love Bug. But I will tell you, it was just really based on telling you who I am, giving you an introduction, and setting the pace in 2026. Even though we're glad to see 2025 go, we're not mad at her. It was highs and lows and in between. There were good and bad, times, and we need to take that information and see how we can apply it, make it applicable. My husband's favorite word, because he say I use that word all the time, but okay. Make it applicable to how we are setting the pace and getting the results in 2026. And we're doing that with clarity. I'm just doing a recap. Capacity and getting the results. And I think the other part was just looking at yourself. Well, first of all, I've branded the R system: reset, refocus, and restart. You're going to hear me talk about that a lot in a lot of conversations that we have, right? Even with the guest. So that's what this is about, the Live at 5, and that's leveling up. The triple R, that's how we do that. So you didn't miss a whole lot, and I think that was it, other than the capacity part and being, remember, you're an elevator, and when you get on that elevator, you see it. You see that notification, capacity, 1,000 pounds, or whatever the case may be. Look at yourself as being that elevator, right? You want to level up. So if you're stretched beyond, your elevator isn't going to go up. It's going to either stay right there and you're going to have some faulty wires, or you're going to snap. And we're not doing that because we're leveling up. That's it. Well, guys, until next time, I'm going to keep learning and navigating my way on this platform. It's been a pleasure. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. And I'll see you next Friday.